Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another daily stock market video. It is Wednesday, it's hump day, the middle of the trading week, and we have a lot to cover today. A lot of big news and updates on Mara on the technical side, but also on the fundamental and the financial side. So I don't want to waste enough time. Let's get right into it like we always do. I'm going to talk a little bit about how the market was overall. We'll take a look at how Marathon Patent Group or Mara traded today. We will look at some big news articles that came out, one of which from the Motley Fool was a fantastic article that I'm going to show you. We'll update our technical analysis to see if we can do some predictions about how we're going to trade tomorrow and Friday to close out the week. And as always, we will look at the option flow data at the end of the day to see what the big money investors were doing and how they were trading Mara. So let's get right into it. Look at the heat map here. Much more green on the board than there was yesterday. So a nice little rebound across the board, especially for big tech. All the big tech stocks were up at least 0.5% or so. Intel, take a look at this. Intel announced a new CEO and the market loved that, up almost 7%. And maybe as a reaction, AMD took a dump because they're down almost 4%. Honey Badger kind of flat, up 0.6%. Nvidia also kind of flat, up about 0.4%. But let's get right into it. Let's talk about Marathon Patent Group on Robinhood. So this is the graph for today. Kind of a very meh day for Mara, right? We opened the day down almost 15%. And then we just traded flat all day long. Maybe we slowly melted up. We still ended the day down 12%. And we're still flat after hours, but right now, as I'm making this video, we're perking up a little bit. We're down not as much after hours. In fact, we're up about 1.7%. But I have an article that I'm going to explain to you why Mara took a dive today. And let's actually get into that right now, because here's an article from Yahoo Finance, and this came out yesterday. And so the reason why Mara probably was red today is because they announced that they're going to issue more shares of stock. And specifically, they're going to issue 12.5 million more shares at a price of $20 per share. So that means they're issuing $250 million worth of stock. So they're essentially diluting the shares of their stock, and investors essentially don't like that. Here's another article, and this was a fantastic article from Motley Fool that came out today. I'd highly recommend you go out and check this article out because there's a lot of good information here. And this is titled, "Here's Why Marathon Patent Group Stock Came Crashing Down Today." And they present a lot of good points. So as I said, they're issuing $250 million worth of stock. And because of that, Marathon was pretty much down 15% or so all day long. So if you're a longtime holder of some of these crypto stocks, whether it's Marathon Patent Group, Riot Blockchain, or Bit Digital, if you've held any of these tickers for 6 months, you're still looking good. I mean, in that same time frame, the S&P 500, which is the pink line, is up about just under 20%, okay? Bit Digital is up 922%. Riot is up 868%, just about. And Marathon is the big winner here, up over 2,200%. So if you're a longtime holder, today was just a little blip. It doesn't affect you that much, but I know a lot of the viewers, myself included, are newer investors to Riot and Mara and maybe even Bit Digital. So what's going on with Marathon? Well, they basically need to raise money, so they're issuing more shares of stock. But what's kind of concerning investors is that just a few weeks ago, Marathon has already issued more stock. And so it says in the article, just 6 months ago, the company had 32.1 million shares outstanding, meaning they had 32 million shares that were out there in the world to buy and sell. But as of right now, their company has almost 75 million shares outstanding. So in about 6 months, they've basically over 2 times or over doubled the total number of shares that are out there. So they've essentially been diluting their company because they need to raise money. The first time they raised money was because they need to buy new Bitcoin mining equipment, which makes sense because they're spending money so that they can buy more equipment to make even more money. But the real question now is, why are they raising more money now? And they're saying that they're going to use it for general purposes. But it did say that they could use the cash to acquire more Bitcoin mining power. So I think right now investors were a little hesitant because they're using money not to make more money this time. Hopefully they will acquire more Bitcoin miners so that they can continue to get more profit from the Bitcoin mining craze. But here's the thing. Bitcoin miners, and this is probably the best paragraph in the article, Bitcoin miners are paid in Bitcoin. And so when the price of Bitcoin goes up, that's obviously a good thing because now these companies make more money. But the catch is that as the price of Bitcoin goes up, it attracts more mining power to the blockchain network, meaning it decreases an individual miner's payout. So the example they give is this. Let's say a job pays a total of $100 and you have 100 workers. Well, then that means that if everyone is paid equally, each worker gets $1. But now what if your job hires 100 more workers? So there's a total of 200. Well, they can only pay the $100 total. So now everybody gets paid only 50 cents for doing the same job. That's essentially the concept of shared dilution. And so what Marathon Patent Group needs to do is that they need to increase their total hash rate by a proportional amount to maintain the rate at which it receives Bitcoin. So I really hope that they keep purchasing more equipment so that as they mine more Bitcoin, they still maintain essentially their market share of the Bitcoin mining game. So let's take a look at TradingView and do some updated technical analysis. I will admit I was wrong with my TA because I thought today would be a green day on Mara and Riot. Riot did not get hit as hard as Mara did. In fact, you can see right here, Riot was only down 1.4%. So I wasn't too off base with my Riot prediction, but Mara took a bigger hit because of that news of share dilution. Now, one thing I wanted to do was draw some more areas of support and resistance since we are trading at all-time highs, basically. So one thing I noticed is I wanted to draw an area of support right around here, around $20. Looks like back on January 7th and January 11th, we kind of bottomed out there on the trading day. I also want to draw an area of support somewhere right around here, around $23.45 or so. It looks like we topped out there today and also on January 11th. Now, that's really where I want to leave it. There's just not a lot of price action or price data. Now, I'm actually wondering, is this area of resistance actually more of support closer to here? Maybe around $23 or 22 and some change. Just remember, these number values are not exact numbers. They're more areas. So I'm going to say somewhere between the mid 22s to, let's say, low 23s is going to be an area of trend. I still think that overall that Mara or Marathon Patent Group is going to continue up. I want to draw a trend line because we can look at a trend line basically that looks something like this. If I draw this trend line from all the way back in really mid-November to where we're trading now, obviously it's up and to the right. And you can see we've bounced off that trend line a few times, most recently intraday on January 7th and intraday on January 11th. As long as we're trading along this upward trend line, I'm still bullish on Marathon in the short to mid-term. Now, one more area of trend I want to draw right now is right here at about $24. And it's interesting because I think that might be our area of resistance right now. So what I want to see is Marathon Patent Group tomorrow to go above $24 and stay above $24. And that way, I'll, in my mind, confirm that we are continuing on the upward trend. But I am, like I said, overall bullish still on Marathon because as long as Bitcoin keeps rising, I'm still bullish on the crypto stocks like Riot Blockchain and Marathon Patent Group. Let's end the video by looking at the option flow data to see what the big money investors were doing. So here's the Trade UI platform that I like to use to get my option flow data. And you know, the one mistake I think I made yesterday in analyzing this was I had stated that a lot of the money that came in from the big investors were hedges against Riot Blockchain. And I think I did not analyze that correctly. So the same thing is happening today where a lot of these options that are coming in on Mara are actually hedges. The biggest option today was for almost $700,000 and it's a call option that was bought, but the strike price is only $10. Yes, it is a yearly option. It's for January of 2022, this is an in-the-money call option that was bought, so this is most certainly a hedge. Some of the other big plays that came out, if you look earlier in the day, here's one for almost $360,000 that expires this Friday. That is a put option that was bought at the $26 strike. So this one is also in the money. So this is also likely a hedge. Here's one for $240,000. That's a call option that was bought, again, in the money, not by much, but it's for a $23 strike. And at the time, Mara was trading for $23.48. So this is a hedge. So I'm thinking, looking at all this big money and what these investors were doing, I'm thinking that we're going to have yet another red day on Marathon Patent Group tomorrow, because a lot of this is hedging. Now, it's not a guarantee, but I think we will have a continued pullback. Now, you could look at it two ways. That could be a buy the dip opportunity and a way for you to get in cheap. Or if you like to sell options and run the wheel strategy, you're going to get more juicy premiums by selling puts on a red day. So let me know what you think. Are we going to be red, or do you think we'll be green tomorrow on Marathon Patent Group? I don't want to make the mistake 2 days in a row. So my prediction is that we will have a little bit of a continued pullback on Marathon Patent Group. But like I said, overall, in the coming weeks, let's say, I think we are still bullish overall until we kind of peak in terms of the cryptocurrency craze. I'm not going to start getting worried until Bitcoin as a coin starts selling off, because Riot Blockchain and Marathon Patent Group tend to trade very closely in line with Bitcoin. As always, if you're not in the Discord server already, make sure you join up. Add me on Twitter, add me on Instagram, add me on Reddit, and add me on StockTwits. But most importantly, I hope you have a green trading day and happy trading.